Hey guys, so one thing I've been really wanting to do is to finish this guy. When I started this channel, I was still working in it, I believe. Or I started working in this. Yes, I started working in this, I think, around the time I started this channel, which was in June of 2022. And I just think it's time to finish it. It's going to be the first sketchbook I've ever finished. I only have a couple pages left, some of them not full pages even. It's just I drew a small drawing in one area and it, didn't fill in the rest, but I do want to fill in the rest. So that is what I'm going to do between today and tomorrow. I would have liked to start earlier today, but unfortunately I didn't feel well all of yesterday and today. So I'm finally feeling a bit better before bedtime, so I'm going to try to see if I can at least fill in. I have 2 pages that aren't completely full, so like they have something on it, but it's not filling the whole page. So I want to see if I can get those 2 pages completely done, and the rest I'm hoping to finish tomorrow, which is a Sunday. And I'm going to take you guys along on the ride with me. So I wasn't sure if I was going to do a voiceover for this video, just because I could actually hear myself drawing when I rewatched the rough cut, and I was thinking, oh, this would be great for ASMR, but I also don't know necessarily that you guys would like that, so I'm not doing an ASMR video. At least this whole video won't be. So I'm still gonna leave the drawing sounds on in the background so you guys can hear it if you want, but you're still gonna hear my voice for probably a majority of the video. So if ASMR is something you are interested in, please let me know, because I would not mind doing that, honestly. I enjoy them myself, listening to just the sounds of a pencil on a piece of paper, so let me know. I would be happy to do that for you guys. What I wanted to talk about was the inspiration for a lot of what I ended up doing here. I, as I said, wanted to finish this sketchbook, and I've been having some difficulty knowing what I want to draw, especially in my sketchbook for some reason. I don't know, I'm just not in the mood to draw anything too complex, I guess, or even, I guess, original. So I ended up starting off with what I know and what I've been doing lately, which is watching cartoons, specifically Scooby-Doo. Although right here you can see I am drawing a different character, which will later be revealed, but yeah, I grew up watching Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? And the Scooby-Doo show. I remember staying in my babysitter's apartment when I was I must have been 3, 4. These are probably some of my earliest memories. But I used to watch Beauty and the Beast. She had that VHS tape. Also Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? I don't remember if I don't think she had it on a tape. I think it was actually TV. She had cable. But I love that show. I don't really like the newer Scooby-Doos, to be honest. I can tolerate the newer Scooby-Doo movies up until a point. I think anything created within the past, at least, I know definitely nothing within the past 5 years has been something that I found enjoyable. The shows, it's been a long time. The last show I genuinely enjoyed was What's New Scooby-Doo, and honestly I didn't even like it that much. So to me it's the originals with the horrible animating, and I guess for the time it was good. It was just, to me, that was Scooby-Doo. So anything newer than that was just, I don't know. It was just a knockoff version. I don't know how else to put it. I guess for me, it's just a nostalgic thing as well, because my babysitter was like a third grandma to me, to be quite honest. The first one that I had growing up, and that was like a hallmark of being at her house, was watching Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? And growing up, Scooby-Doo stayed with me. Mostly the movies, because I couldn't really find Scooby-Doo on TV. So it was more so the movies as they were coming out, but as I said, once they got to a certain point, I didn't really like them as much anymore. I think the last one I genuinely enjoyed was Scooby-Doo, Where's My Mummy? Which, that was the one where they went to Egypt and Velma was doing a dig there, and they happened upon Cleopatra's tomb. And I just really liked that movie. There was a good twist. I'm not going to spoil it, but if you're into kid cartoons or you were a Scooby-Doo fan, I do recommend that movie. I thought it was a pretty good one for the newer style Scooby-Doo gang and stories. Yes, I've just been watching them. I bought there was 2 seasons of Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? On Apple TV. And then I also bought the 3 seasons of the Scooby-Doo show, which to me is still not as good as Where Are You? But it's good enough. And I'm familiar with some of the episodes because when I was a kid, there was a Christmas VHS tape, I think, that you could get at the Blockbuster that was by me, that had a bunch of Christmas movies. I mean, not Christmas movies, like Christmas episodes or like winter-themed episodes from Scooby-Doo, but it was the older ones. So there were a couple from the show where Scrappy-Doo was there. There was the Snow Ghost, which was from Where Are You? And there's this other snow one where he looks like a dinosaur, the villain. So I'm not really sure the name of the episode, but I'm pretty sure it's one of the episodes from the Scooby-Doo show. So, which those ran back in like the 60s and 70s, I think. It was actually like when my parents were kids. So it's kind of funny to me that they don't really enjoy it. My father still enjoys old cartoons, but he enjoys Looney Tunes more than anything. So that's where Bugs comes in, and this next character that I'm going to be drawing. I grew up on them too. My father, I remember, had a box set of Looney Tunes, like the original. I'm not talking about like the reboots that they've done on Cartoon Network, because I can't stand those either. I don't know why. I like the original so much better for a lot of the reboots they've done, like Teen Titans 2, which I know isn't as old as Looney Tunes, or, Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? But it was, to me, the original Teen Titans cartoon was the best one. And then when they came up with Teen Titans Go, I was like, what is this? So, I mean, maybe it's an unpopular opinion, but it's definitely mine. So it's hard to watch those. And then I watch the old ones, and I just wish there were more. I actually haven't watched the Looney Tunes ones in a while, so I'm tempted to get my hands on like an original box set. So we'll see. I don't know. But yeah, I ended up wanting to draw Scooby-Doo. And what ended up happening was I found a couple pictures on Pinterest that I liked, screenshots from the original show. I also found through that, because of course Pinterest recommends other pins, older Looney Tunes screenshots. And I think where it started was really Bugs in that pink drawing I did there, because I love him in that outfit. It reminds me of exactly how I want to be 24/7, just like lounging in my chair, all cozied up in my slippers. So, I don't know, I just felt like I identified with that. And, of course, the next character, if you don't already know, is Wile E. Coyote. And he was always a favorite of mine as well, because I just felt bad for him. I mean, I love the Roadrunner, don't get me wrong. I never wanted him to actually catch the Roadrunner. But that poor coyote, I felt for him. So, I guess a part of me kind of relates to that, because I don't know, sometimes you get into sticky situations in life, things you don't expect, or you think you're doing the right thing, and then something else drops on you. Pun mostly intended, considering the drawing. There were a couple others that were good too. I just didn't feel like it. I saw some Tom and Jerry, which I grew up on Tom and Jerry too, so again, the original is not I'm gonna sound like such a snob. I like what they were trying to do with the newer ones. I just have a preference for the older ones. I can't help it. I acknowledge that they were very stereotypical and did not age well. And in some cases were blatantly racist. So I understand that bit of it. However, there was a nostalgic element to my love for these older cartoons. I just remember, as I said, my babysitter being in her apartment, having Scooby-Doo, Where Are You on the screen, and eating vanilla pudding, because she always had like those Jello vanilla puddings, the ones that you get at the grocery store and just like put in your fridge. And Looney Tunes was my dad, my family. We used to watch it while we were on vacation. I remember he brought it with us one summer when we were staying down here. This was long before we moved down here. And my brother and I, we were showered, ready for bed, and that's what we did. We sat on the couch with our parents and watched episodes of the original Looney Tunes. And I think sharing this with us also made our parents happy, because this is the stuff they grew up with. So, well, my dad didn't really have Scooby-Doo. My mom did. And it was just something that was from their childhood that they were now sharing with their children. That's what it'll always be to me. So I can't really get behind the super new stuff. I mean, I remember they had this one show on Cartoon Network that was on Saturdays. It was like Looney Tunes, but them as babies, which was interesting. I still liked it, I think. And I did like the Tom and Jerry movies they came out with. The Scooby-Doo ones, too, were pretty good up until a point, but recently I haven't really liked any of the spin-offs they've come up with for them. I think Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated just kind of ruined it for me. I didn't understand pushing this agenda of Velma and Shaggy, for example. And even Fred and Daphne. I mean, they were hinted at, but so subtly in the original episodes. Like, it wasn't a focus. And I noticed as newer and newer episodes and series came out that were spin-offs, they started pairing them together. And then even more recently, Velma and Shaggy. And I just don't think it's needed. I don't know. It just never appealed to me. So that's why I think it also kind of ruined it for me, besides the art style. And for some reason, I feel like they got cheesier. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But that's how I feel. And I did want to acknowledge, I have no idea what this owl is from. Or maybe I do and I just don't remember. But I just thought he was the funniest looking owl. He's just so grumpy. And I put hashtag judging because, and you'll see, I draw a arrow pointing to the drawing next to it because that was a terrible attempt at drawing. I forget even who it was in pen. And I regretted it since the day I did it because I refused to draw on that page after that. But I really wanted to at least cover most of the pages. There's still one spread in here, I think, that I probably could have squeezed some stuff on it, but I really didn't want to. It was more so these 2 pages that just had one drawing on it that I wasn't too pleased with, and I just abandoned until now. And now we're finally drawing Scooby-Doo. On this page, I draw him and one of the villains from the original Scooby-Doo Where Are You series. And it's actually, both of them are from the same episode, which is one of my favorites because it's also in a Scooby-Doo video game that was for, I think I got it for the Game Boy when I was like, I don't even know how old I was. I must have been like 5 or 6. And I could never beat that game. I bet if I could do it now, I totally could. But back then, a little 6-year-old, 7-year-old me could not defeat it. But the episode opens with this lawyer called Creeps. His last name's Creeps. It's so funny. And he calls his associate or his partner, who couldn't be there for whatever reason, Crawls. So the lawyers' names are Creeps and Crawls, which is hilarious to me. Shaggy points it out at one point in the episode. And Creeps is basically reading a will for his client to some of the client's family members and Scooby-Doo. And basically in the will, there's this large sum of money that was left to all of them. They would each get an even share. But for you to get your share, you had to stay the whole night in the guy's house, which also happens to be haunted. So it was really interesting because I feel like it was the first episode that I watched, and I'm blanking on all the episodes, but that episode in particular is very hard to kind of figure out who it was initially. I mean, as an adult, it's kind of obvious who the villain was, but when you were a kid, there were so many different people, and to me, as a child, you know, I had my idea of who it obviously was. Didn't turn out to be that person. But you have, I think, 5 people besides Scooby-Doo who all want to cut that money, and they benefit from other people not staying the whole night. So, of course, you know, they want their cut to be bigger. And if they get rid of other people, it can be. The ghost designs, too, I thought were just really good. So it was, to me, one of my favorite episodes. And I just thought Scooby-Doo in his robe and his slippers was also pretty hilarious. I really wanted to draw it, so I did. I think all of these drawings could honestly be great memes on like a t-shirt or something, but, you know, copyright laws and stuff, and I did not look into, you know, how to license from Warner Bros., which I think also owns Looney Tunes, so not too sure how that would work or how easy it is to do, but I think they would all be good as potential memes. I had like ideas for like phrases to go with it, but I drew these because they were my childhood. I wanted to see if I could draw them, I guess, because I remember as a kid, my grandfather had a tailor store, and down the street from him, I don't know if they were an art shop or an art educational store, I'm not sure. I just remember my father leaving me there for a couple hours and drawing. The guy that was there overseeing everything, I do believe there were other people with me, had books that we could look at and draw from. And one of them was a Scooby-Doo book, which I don't remember how old I was, but Scooby-Doo was a love of mine throughout my whole childhood, so I wanted to draw him. And I remember at the time not thinking it was all that good, even though the instructor said I did a good job. It's funny now, thinking about how the drawing looked, I think I did pretty good for a kid. I can't complain. Even if it was significantly worse than what I'm thinking, that's still pretty good. I was pretty young. So it's a shame I didn't keep the drawing, because I would have loved to see the difference. I'm sure there is one, but that was part of the reason why I wanted to draw Scooby-Doo. because I remember kid me wanting to draw Scooby-Doo and draw him well. And I think I did a decent job. I basically copied what I saw, didn't modify the drawing in any way. So I think it was pretty good. And now I am drawing the villain from that episode, or I guess I should say the ghost. And when I saw this screenshot, I found it hilarious. I didn't even remember this part of the episode. I just saw the screenshot and I was like, oh, that's so funny. Him holding the phone. And I don't know when Scream came out, but I feel like these ghosts either inspired Scream or vice versa, because they look very similar to the antagonist in that film series. But I digress. We are getting close to the end of this video, so I did want to take a moment to ask that if you liked this video, please hit the like button just so I know. This is a two-parter, so I already have the second part filmed and it'll be posted next Wednesday. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, now might be a good time to do that, because if you hit the subscribe button and then ring that little bell, you'll be notified every time a new video goes out from my channel. And that means you'll know when this next video goes out, exactly when it does. So that's pretty cool. I think that's a neat feature on YouTube. I definitely use it for the people I subscribe to. And I would love to know if you guys also watched these cartoons, or if you had your own favorite cartoons. I'd also love to hear your take on, the reboots of older shows and how you feel about them, because I think it's a fun thing to talk about. There's a certain nostalgic element of the older ones, I think, but the newer ones solve a lot of the problems that the older ones had, so I can and will acknowledge that. But I really enjoyed drawing these characters and making this video for you guys. It's been a while since I've genuinely enjoyed filling a sketchbook page, or in this case, several pages. I also really enjoyed making the next part of this video, so please stay tuned. I am actually going to stop talking, so the rest of this video will be ASMR, and I hope you enjoy it. Have a good rest of your week. I will see you next Wednesday. Bye, guys.